All right. Let's see if I'm able to take a bite for YouTube. Hey guys, and welcome to the video. I'm taking a break from the workout series that I've been posting to address a nutrition focused video. It's something that I've wanted to do anyway, even though I will make sure to finish up the deployed workout series shortly. Before I get into a discussion about eating, I wanted to take a moment and manage expectations for the channel. If you watched my video introducing Fighter Pilot Fitness, you heard me say I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I am not a professional fitness coach. I'm not a professional fitness icon, and that's sort of the point of the channel. Even if I were a professional fitness icon, I would hope that people wouldn't get all of their fitness related information from me, because there are plenty of reputable sources out there that I hope people are exploring for a good look at all the data. I am comfortable with what I'm implementing, and I'm comfortable showcasing what I'm implementing, and I'm comfortable primarily showing how I'm pursuing fitness amidst an otherwise constrained environment, and one that will be even more constrained once I get back to home station, where I have to ensure that I take care of my family appropriately, even as I continue to chase excellence in the Eagle. I'm going to show the science and the why behind what I do when it's applicable and when it makes sense, but this content also includes my personal opinion and my personal take on the things that I'm executing. That approach includes this nutrition video, it includes the workout videos, it includes everything that I put on the channel. It's not intended to be a definitive guide from someone who has arrived at the solution to fitness. What I do know, I will share with confidence, but it is all supposed to be an honest look, as transparent as practical, at what I'm doing that's working and what I'm doing that could use a lot of work. Hopefully you've already heard me critiquing myself in the workout videos, and that is because I am a firm believer in the idea that there is always something to be improved, and I hope that's something that you take away from my channel, namely that if we are going to pursue perfection, then it requires recognizing imperfection and being willing to address it from a place of humility. That being said, people have been asking me, which by the way is a phrase that I always thought YouTubers just said when they wanted to make a video, but now I'm starting to see that people really are interested in the channel, and I am so thankful for all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for your feedback and for watching these videos. All of that input helps me tailor the channel appropriately and make sure that it doesn't just become a collection of my ramblings, which it is dangerously close to becoming right now. People have been asking me about my diet. What do I eat? How do I eat? So for this video, I'm going to go over to the DFAC, the dining facility, and get my food to go and bring it back to the room. So when I get back in a moment, I will have all the food out and talk about my daily eating regimen. All right, I'm back. Let's get into food. I suspect that you already know that there is not some secret fighter pilot food that I can tap into to get extra performance or anything like that. So rest assured that the food that I'm eating is accessible. One difference here right now is that I'm limited to whatever food the dining facility has available at any given time. But at home, my wife and I do buy very similar foods, and so there isn't much difference there. Depending on my flying schedule, I will modify the portability of the food, but I'll continue to touch on that over time, and for now I'll just stick to the overview. To start with, I know my maintenance calories, meaning I know the calories that I have to intake on a daily basis to just maintain my current weight level based on my average activity level. Maintenance calories for me are between 3,100 and 3,200 per day. I know that from making estimates and then testing those estimates over a set period of time while tracking my weight on a regular basis and controlling for other variables like keeping my workouts defined and stable. Knowing my maintenance calories allows me to modify up or down depending on whether I'm trying to gain mass or cut excess fat. Before we go any further, let me tell you what I used to do. When I was 12 years old, I was about a foot and a couple inches shorter than I am right now. I weighed about 10 pounds more than I weigh right now, so I was a fat kid. And then my whole family went on a low carb diet around the time that Atkins and other low carb stuff
was popular. And so I was counting carbs, and I was also going through normal teenage growth spurts, and all told, I lost about 80 pounds within the span of a half year. I was downright skinny, and I desperately needed to build muscle, but that is a topic for another video. I stayed low carb for about 15 years after that, setting up different systems that were always based on restricting carbohydrates in one form or another, sometimes all the time, other times with different rules for what I could eat on the weekends, but always that same basic principle. After that, I moved on to a paleo diet and then the keto diet. Basically everything I've tried has been some derivative of carbohydrate maintenance, and I always scoffed calorie counting as any sort of weight management because I always believed it was about insulin management and carbohydrate control in order to appropriately control your weight. The bottom line is, up until a little while ago in my life, I would have said calories do not matter for weight, and that it is all about eating as much as you want of the correct foods. The science doesn't really support that idea, as much as I wouldn't have believed it. I've got a link below to a massive meta-analysis from 2014 that compared weight loss results from a ton of named diets: Atkins, Zone, Nutrisystem, everything from low-carb diets to low-fat diets, and all along the spectrum, only to find out that there wasn't a significant difference, if any at all, in weight lost from any particular diet, and that the most important factor for any diet's effectiveness is the ability of the dieter to adhere to the diet. Meaning the reason that any diet worked at all in terms of weight loss was down to the same factor, namely that you wind up eating fewer calories over time, even if maybe that particular diet makes you feel fuller because of the foods that are included. And if you're like I was and you're watching this video and you're thinking it is all about the carb intake or the fat intake or any particular food for weight management, let me be another voice to say, I've been there, but the data says that with a surplus of energy, you will gain weight, and with a deficit of energy in the form of calories, you will lose weight. That's not to say that plenty of those diets don't have other benefits. Paleo, for instance, steers away from refined and processed foods and therefore touts reduced inflammation and lower instances of certain other bodily ailments. And plenty of diets out there are better at including a full range of vitamins and minerals than some other diets. But in terms of pure weight management, which is what most people are after in terms of more immediately tangible or visible benefits, calories are the metric to watch. So if you are someone who wants to get in shape by shedding away excess fat, you've got to down-regulate your calorie intake. And conversely, if you are someone who is trying to gain mass, gain muscle over time, you'll need to increase your calorie intake above your maintenance levels. There are instances of what's called body recomposition, where your body is able to tap into fat stores it already has for energy and use those to build muscle, but the variables that go into that make it another topic for another video altogether. So for anyone, regardless of the direction they're trying to go, I recommend taking the time to find your maintenance calories. What that means is taking a few weeks and eating a set amount of calories and weighing in periodically to get an idea of how your body responds on average. If you don't have any idea where to start as a guess, generally speaking, 15 to 16 times your body weight in pounds is a good starting estimate, depending on your activity level. I find those numbers to be a little bit low for me, so if you check the description, I have linked to some total daily energy expenditure calculators that each use more robust formulas for the calories your body probably burns in a day. From there, you can go for a reasonable deficit or a reasonable surplus, depending on what your weight management goals are. Right now, I am using a flexible IIFYM approach, which stands for if it fits your macros, meaning I target 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight in terms of my protein consumption in grams per day, about 0.3 to 0.4 grams per pound of body weight in terms of dietary fat consumption. The remainder of my calories come from carbohydrates, which was unusual for someone like me with the background that I just described, but has been great in my recent history. Rather than low carb or low fat or anything like that, the IIFYM approach is perfect for the fighter pilot lifestyle because the flexibility inherent in the system accommodates times when I can afford to have a sit-down meal like I'm going to do right now, and times when I need to eat on the go or even in the jet. I am using this time here in the desert to target growth in both strength and size, and that means a calorie surplus for me. I did did accomplish that mini cut that I mentioned in one of the workout videos, just to get rid of a little bit of fat before resuming this bulk. But now I'm pretty firmly established in eating just slightly over my maintenance calories in an effort to put on lean muscle over time. So with that established, let's take a look at the meal that I have here. So I'm looking at a couple of egg white omelets with some vegetables in there, a couple of pancakes, big old salad, and I'm gonna have this hard-boiled egg on top of it, tortilla with some vegetables and a little bit of cheese in there that I'm gonna put the egg whites into and eat at least one of them as a wrap. This is some oatmeal and then just a little bit of jelly or jam on the pancakes. So in terms of the choices, I will make sure to have calorie counts that I put up on the screen. The egg whites in particular give me the option for a little bit more volume with reduced calories, meaning I can eat more egg whites for fewer calories. Also a great source of protein, so it helps me reach my protein goals for the day. Pancakes I just enjoy, and these are not too calorie dense at about 150 total for 2 pancakes. They're relatively small coming from the dining facility. The salad I won't count as any calories, and I'll make a quick note on that. The total calories coming from the lettuce and tomatoes and onions, which are basically what's in this salad, and some bell peppers, are not nothing. They aren't zero, but I do eat a salad with pretty much every meal, and I've just chosen to chalk that up to a consistent staple in my diet and not track it specifically. If over time I were to change the amount of leafy green or fibrous vegetables that I eat to a significant degree and it started to affect my weight, I would start to factor that in to how I'm tracking my calories. But as it stands right now, it's not going to be part of my calorie considerations for the day, with the exception of any dressing or cheese, or in this case, the hard-boiled egg that I am going to put on the salad. The wrap itself is just something to add a few carbohydrates to the egg white omelets that I got, which also have vegetables inside of them that I'm not tracking separately. And the wrap itself has some provolone cheese that I am tracking, but I'm not taking into account the tomatoes or lettuce that I put in there either, for the same reasons that I don't do so with the salad. The oatmeal I find very filling. It's high in fiber. I'm going to mix a scoop of protein powder into there for a little more protein and a little more flavor in the oatmeal, because I'm just using unflavored oatmeal that doesn't have any sort of sweetener or anything. All right. Another few notes on the food choices. I like to choose foods that are high volume because I like to eat a lot of food. So whether I'm bulking or cutting, whether I'm above or below my maintenance calories, I like to try to find foods that are going to make me feel fuller, which is the reason I often factor in a big salad with a little extra protein. Things like the wrap, things like the oatmeal, which are filling because of the fiber, all contributes to me just feeling more satiated in terms of my appetite. When I fly, I have to ensure that I eat my meal pre-takeoff. Sometimes I commit to waiting until I land if it's a shorter sortie, or sometimes I change things up and eat in the jet, which means I need to bring packaged and portable foods, which includes plenty of tasty things like complete cookies or protein bars or even Pop-Tarts and pastries, but can also be more well-rounded foods like toasted wraps or sandwiches, provided I can ensure they won't fall apart in flight. One thing I've been trying lately, specifically for this bulk, is putting a greater emphasis on my weekly calorie intake in order to get an average of what my daily calorie intake would be. So since I said my maintenance calories were about 3,100 to 3,200, I've been trying to go for 3,400 or so during this bulking phase. And the way I'm actually implementing that is 6 days a week, I will target about 2,900 calories. And then 1 day a week, I will go for kind of a feasting day of 6,000 or so calories in order to make the average caloric intake 3,350, 3,400, 3,500 calories. That's an idea I got from a popular YouTuber named Dompierre. I'll link to his channel down in the description. He posts a lot of awesome content about eating a lot of great food and being really in shape. So this meal that I'm eating right now is about 1,000 calories, I think. I was doing the math mentally right now, but I'll make sure to have it up on the screen so you guys can see it. That means that with a meal like this, I can have it 2 more times throughout the day or something similar, or I can eat this meal and then save up for a bigger dinner, and have 1900 calories at dinner, and that's very dependent on my flying schedule and my squadron schedule. So hopefully that answers what I do for calories in a given day and what my diet kind of looks like. I plan on going into plenty more detail throughout my time with the channel, but for now, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to get back to work. Thanks for your input, and thank you for the questions and comments that led to this video. I look forward to making a lot more like it. Thanks for watching.